This was a long-planned assassination attempt. A terrorist raised his missile sight and locked onto the US president's private jet. Then he took out a newly developed surface-to-air missile and fired at the plane. Missile, trailing white smoke, sped toward its target. The president's jet detected the incoming missile and immediately prepared to deploy countermeasures. But at the critical moment, all the computer screens suddenly went black. The president's personal bodyguard, seeing something was wrong, immediately put the onboard security team on high alert. He then rushed into the president's cabin, pushing the president back toward the cargo hold. The missile was 2.5 minutes from impact. The bodyguard had no choice but to shove the president into an escape pod. Then the bodyguard closed the hatch, hit the launch switch, and sent the escape pod out of the plane. The rest of the security team then jumped from the plane as well. But strangely, none of their parachutes opened. One of the agents realized something was wrong, but he was shot and killed by the president's bodyguard. It turned out the president's personal bodyguard was actually working with the terrorists. The bodyguard then calmly jumped from the plane. At the same time, the terrorist's surface-to-air missile sped past the bodyguard and hit the president's jet in the clouds, along with its 3 F-16 fighter escorts. Finally, the plane spiraled out of control and crashed, coming down in a forest in Finland. The Pentagon detected that Air Force One was in distress and that the president's escape pod had lost its signal. The Secretary of Defense immediately set up an emergency command center and dispatched SEAL Team 6 for search and rescue. Meanwhile, the president was trapped in his escape pod when he was discovered by a boy hunting in the forest. The boy cautiously approached with his bow and arrow, curiously knocking on the hatch. The president, thinking it was his bodyguard, wrote on the escape pod's window the code to open the hatch. The cautious boy entered the code and then quickly hid. The president then opened the hatch and discovered his rescuer was just a young boy. After learning the man was the president of the United States, the boy immediately led him away from the area. By the time the bodyguard arrived with the terrorists, the president was long gone, and the young boy who saved the president was actually a hunter from a local tribe.